Welcome back to the channel. We got some big moves. We're gonna start with the little ones, of course. Well, I guess this one ain't little, but little in terms of surprise, I guess. We're gonna start out with Devin Booker. About to, or probably already have signed an extension, 5-year, $158 million. The cornerstone of that franchise, man, well deserved by Devin Booker. $31.6 million. Oh yeah, y'all like that quick math, don't you? Then we got Raymond Felton. Going back to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 1-year vet minimum. We got Balika, I think I pronounced his name right. Balika going to the Philadelphia 76ers, 1 year, $4.4 million. We got Cal O'Quinn, the great power forward. Well, I ain't gonna say great, but he's a pretty good power forward / center. Going to the Pacers, $4.5 million 1 year. We got Dwight Howard. Once he finished that buyout with the Brooklyn Nets, he's going to sign a mid-level exception worth, that's probably about right around between $8 and $9 million to go to Washington. We also have news about Carmelo possibly, getting a deal done with Oklahoma City. I have not, I don't have his picture here or anything like that, but that's just what's being worked on right now. He did opt in his $27.6 million player option, but they're working to either stretch provision him, trade him, which probably won't happen. Because who in the world is gonna? If you trade him, the only thing that probably makes sense if you trade him back to New York, absorb that Joakim Noah contract and probably get Courtney Lee, because Courtney Lee will really be the guy you want, and Joakim Noah will make the money work. But you feel what I'm saying? But I mean, who's going to trade him back to New York unless, because this is a whole different coach. Because David Fizdale, he knows how to, communicate with guys like Melo. You know what I'm saying? But this could be news for a whole nother post. But we're just going to say they're working on it. And the biggest news of the day, and the reason why I put this at the end of the day, because it has something to do with Kawhi Leonard. I'm on the San Antonio Spurs prediction. I said, if Kawhi stays, I think Tony Parker leaves. Looks like Tony Parker is going to the Charlotte Hornets, who, by the way, their head coach, this is James Borgio, but I know his name is Borgio. He was the assistant coach for the Spurs last year. Well, several years. And, Tony Parker's going to a familiar place in regards to, coaching. But this might mean that, Kawhi stays, which I think is the best move for the Spurs and the best move for Kawhi. You really just need to, repair, And to be quite honest, man, I think that team, like who I thought as a Mavericks fan, that organization was so tight, and nothing really got out in the media. But last year things started getting messy, and that was like really just totally against what they do. And I kind of thought that it was very surprising, and so things had to happen. And I felt like if things were going to happen, it had to happen this year, because a lot of stuff that happened last year was, it was totally against what everybody kind of thought about the Spurs being a tight ship. Everything is in-house, you feel me? And then stuff started leaking out. You got Kawhi doing this and that. You got Tony Parker saying this and that. Like, it was a whole messy situation. So I think, the best move had to happen. Tony Parker, you can say what you like, you know what I'm saying? He got a good excuse, Derek White is progressing. You got Murray being the point guard of the future. I mean, that could be, if you're naive of the situation, you could just say, you know what, it's time for Murray to grow, and Derek White, who is progressing. The summer league, he's been tearing it up, you know what I'm saying? So the Spurs have their point guards of the future. Tony Parker, he could just go to Charlotte under a familiar face, Coach Borgio, and Kemba Walker's there. I don't know how long he's going to be there because he's on an expiring contract next year. I mean, he'll get his minutes. With this year, I don't think Tony Parker gets a lot of minutes. I mean, that's just me speculating. I do live in San Antonio, but I'm from Dallas. But like, I mean, I'm just kind of happy with things that turned out, even as a Mavericks fan, because with the Spurs, even though I hate the Spurs as a fan of the Mavericks, but just a fan of basketball, you know, you trade away Kawhi, that probably would have been devastating, man. Just having the organization succumb to things like this, man. And I know I'm going long-winded about this, but Tony goes to a situation where he's familiar. Coach Borjo is there, and he can just mentor, Kemba Walker or any other young point guard that's out there. And I think it's a good move. 2 year, $10 million, pretty much the same. Well, he coming off $15.5 million, last year. But, it's a good situation on both sides. If Kawhi stays, which I think, based on my prediction, that's what I think he'll do. But, and this might prompt Kawhi to actually stay long-term past this year. We shall see, though. And to summarize, we got Devin Booker staying in Phoenix. We got Ray Felton returning to OKC. We got Belika going to Philly. We got Kyle O'Quinn going to Indiana. We got Dwight Howard after the buyout with Brooklyn. Well, first of all, the trade has to go through. It will go through today. Buyout with Brooklyn, and then he will sign with Washington. And we got Tony Parker going to a familiar face in Charlotte. Anything else that pops up, I will definitely be here. 1, 2, 3rd.